How do you kind of teach people to have that kind of longer term frame of thinking? Because it's hard. I mean, we want to have like immediate gratification, but like, how do you, enjoy the present, but also prepare for the future at the same time?
This is the question of the ages, Leo. I think this is the one of the biggest issues that I'm seeing right now, especially with technology the way it is. Like we're never present with anyone. We're always distracted. We're always fighting the distraction, I should say. I'm fighting it constantly. Right. And I teach my clients how to do the best they can to be focused and present despite all of this. But what it really comes down to, I believe there's a pattern here. I believe that it's values, goals, priorities. I wrote a book about achieving balance is all about understanding what are your values. Your values are your principles that guide your life. Goals, those are just marks along the way. That's all they are. Goals are not greater than values. If you don't have values, you don't have direction in your life. Okay. And we can talk ad nauseum about where you get values from. A lot of times it's from our own parents and from religion. So people are like, oh, who aren't religious, they knock on that. Well, we don't need values. Absolutely. And even if you are a non religious person, you live in a religious society, you're benefiting from values like honesty, integrity. Those things are needed in our society is just drained of ethics. We're morally bankrupt. I could spend hours on that, but I digress. So we have to have goals as just markers along the path. But our priorities, what are our priorities? We hear all the time, get your priorities in order. One of the very first things I do with my clients is I help them identify what their values are, create smart goals from those values. So they're value-based goals. And that way they are living their life with purpose and intention. And then they create their priorities. They can find out, well, what are the most important things in my life? Let's do more of those things. Because we can give a wink and a nod to, yeah, I really care about my religious aspect of my life, my spirituality, or my health. But if you never go to the gym or you never go to church, like what you're doing to your brain is you're creating cognitive dissonance. Your conscious mind is like, yes, that's who I am. And your subconscious is like, no, not really. And it's fighting. It's creating that stress, that
Mm.
internal stress. So when people feel balanced, it's because they put their priorities in order and they use their time to fulfill that priority. So it starts with you first. It
Mm.
starts with you really understanding what your values are. Secondly, and why I wrote this book, Marry and Grow Rich, was how couples get on the same page is they look at their financial values. They go, gee, this is what I value. And even though my money history is different, okay, we come from different backgrounds. We understand money differently, but what do we have in common? And we look at where those values overlap, like a Venn diagram, what's in the middle. Those shared values become what your financial foundation is for your marriage.